and welcome to our Culture magazine on I24 News, where we bring you some of the most interesting stories from the world of entertainment and art. Today on our program, Israeli author Nava Semal and Hungarian filmmaker Janos Szasz will be here to discuss their upcoming collaboration. Can a cup of coffee be called art? And we'll start the summer with the outrageous Coachella Music Festival. But we begin with news from the MIP TV Festival, the largest marketplace for TV formats, which is taking place in Cannes these days. The festival hosts television executives from around the world looking for their next big hit, as well as creatives trying to sell their original ideas. This year, China has made their first sale of an original talent show format. British channel ITV bought the show Sing My Song, which looks for the best new original song in China. Contestants perform their work for the judges, four of China's music industry's biggest singer-songwriters. The series, which began in January, has a 37% audience share in China and has become a social media phenomenon. Israel, who has been notably successful in the formats market in the last few years, also made an impact this year. Keshet International sold their game show Boom to France's TF1 and the Fox network in the US. Boom is a new take on the traditional trivia game show, where players have to cut different color wires depending on the answers they choose, thus diffusing a ticking bomb. During the festival yesterday, the International Digital Emmy Awards were given out. Kenyan online radio show Shujaz, that won the award in 2012, has done it again in the children's category. Written in contemporary Kenyan slang, the show seeks to empower young people in the country. Australia's ABC nabbed the fiction prize with hashtag 7 Days Later, a show where each episode is created in 1 week and is based on audience participation. And the UK's Channel 4 received the non-fiction prize for D-Day As It Happens, a 24-hour-long historical documentary which offered a moment-by-moment breakdown of the events by following 7 people who lived through it. These awards and the format market show just how international the exchange of creative ideas is in today's media industry. Nava Semal is an Israeli author and playwright. She's written 17 novels, among them the critically acclaimed And the Rat Laughed from 2001, a story of a girl's survival in the Holocaust and the telling of that story many years later. Janos Szasz is an Hungarian filmmaker who directed such films as Wojciech and 2013's The Notebook, which was submitted as Hungary's nominee to the Oscar that year. The two are working on an adaptation of Semal's novel. I'm very happy to have them both in the studio. Thank you both for coming in today.
Hi.
Thank you for the invitation.
So, The Rat Laughed is it's a complicated story. Nava, would you care to tell us a little bit about it?
The protagonist is memory itself. An old woman, she's a survivor. She tries to tell her story to her granddaughter, who is doing a school project. It's a horrific story, so she's stuck, but she tells something. The granddaughter creates a website with poems that she invents, and that's how the whole story gets into the future and becomes a myth, which is called Girl and Rat in the future. So it's about how we remember and how we transmit our memory and how will the next person tell the same story.
That story,
yes.
Which makes it a serious challenge to adapt such a story. Maybe Janos should answer that question.
You are definitely right. It's really seriously challenging to make adaptation because the novel and the film is going parallel in 3 periods, in the past,
right,
in the present, and in the future. So 100 years from now, and 70 years back in the future, in the past. So it's very challenging, but challenge is the only way to make anything in the end.
Now, despite the challenge, it's already been adapted to a chamber opera of all options. What do you think is it about this story that makes it so compelling?
Probably because it's a story of one girl, one little girl. It's not a big story. It's not a Holocaust story with ghettos or with concentration camp. It's about a human being and about the struggle to, on one hand, to remember, on the other hand, to forget.
Right.
She's in a struggle.
Yeah.
And probably because of the unconventional way, it gives probably the viewers, the audience, a certain amount of freedom to interpret the story and there's a niche for their own input.
I see. Janos, what drew you to the story?
My father.
Do you care to
Oh
elaborate?
yeah. You know that my father has the same story as in Nava's novel. So he have been in Holocaust, and he have been in one of the concentration camp called Dachau.
Yeah.
But I just learned, what have happened to him the day when he buried him.
Stories.
Yeah.
Oh.
He didn't talk a word about this, and this is a very hard backpack on my shoulder, so I must open it and to do something with this backpack, because this silence which my father gave to me, it's very important in my life, but I need to digest it in a way. And Nava's amazing and challenging and fantastic novel, I think, helps to treat myself also and maybe treat some audience.
I see. Yeah, Nava, you've in the past been hailed as the author who speaks about the second generation of the Holocaust survivor and how they deal with what we've been left with. What do you think about the current state of Holocaust remembrance?
First of all, Holocaust is becoming a myth in front of our eyes. There are lots of people who never read Anne Frank's diary, but they know an icon by Anne Frank. So in that sense, we have to, as artists, we have to fight in order to find new ways to remember the Holocaust without being becoming only a myth. We have to bring more options. And the Holocaust will probably be remembered, or hopefully be remembered by Holocaust Memorial Day. So it will be a calendar through rituals, through icons. But art has a different kind of a challenge. Art has to be a carrier of emotional memory. And I'm very blessed that Janos Szasz, such a highly acclaimed director, decided that he wants this to create a film based on this piece of literature, because I know that he has the vision and he has the freedom to create a whole new dimension of these pages with words. He can create not only a picture, but also his own input of emotional memory.
Janos?
Stop it. No, we are working in a very good level, that Nava is very open, and I am very open also, and we are having a good change of mind. So
wonderful. I'm looking forward to watching this film when it comes out. Janos, Nava, thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you very much.
Mike Breach, a New York-based barista, gives his coffee some extra punch by painting portraits and landscapes with foam. On the web, Breach became famous for his creations. Michal Divon takes a look.
I'll have a portrait cappuccino, please. He's the Picasso of coffee, the master of baristas, and the epitome of foam creations. Mike Breach, a 28-year-old New York barista, has taken coffee to an entire new level. He's created Barista art, and he's already made international headlines. Barista art, a self-coined term for art made in the form of lattes, has become a full-time profession for Breach. His masterpieces, however, are sold for a mere few dollars.
People always ask, do you do art? Do you paint? Do you draw? And I say, no, coffee is my medium.
Using only a toothpick to illustrate detailed drawings in his foam, Breach embraces an art form which he knows will fade away with one single sip, often at a pace faster than it was made. So why does he do it after all?
This doesn't last forever. I think that's what makes it special. You know, that's what makes it something more personal to me, because it's like I actually just painted it for that person to see. I didn't really do it for myself.
Coffee has been popular for centuries. However, it was only since the 1980s that coffee art, created by pouring steamed milk into a shot of espresso, has been widely welcomed with the modern thirst for style and beauty. With coffee now dominating the 21st century, serving as the socially accepted addiction, it was only a matter of time before other social cravings appeared not only on our smartphones, but also inside our cups. And so what started out for Mike Breach as a day job at the back of a hotel has turned out as a phenomena that is now taking him on a world coffee adventure, starting in Australia.
I kind of want to be like Willy Wonka with coffee, you know, make it something interesting and fun for people, take the pretentiousness out of it, take the seriousness out of it.
With an Instagram currently at 38,000 followers and a culture of coffee addicts, Barista's future seems promising.
Soon we'll hear all about the Coachella Music Festival that's opening this weekend, but first here are some cultural highlights from around the world.
As the world prepares to commemorate 1 century since the First World War, the BNF in Paris hosts an exhibition dedicated to one of the greatest tragedies of the 20th century. Presenting the result of the cooperation between 8 European countries, the exhibit makes over 400,000 rare documents available online. Books, newspapers, maps, journals, photographs, posters, manuscripts, and song lyrics. In addition, the exhibit will bring into question how history was written and from which angles events were documented. Summer 1914 will be on display at the François Mitterrand Library until August 3rd. The Howard Griffin Gallery in London presents a retrospective of the life and work of famous artist Thierry Noir. In his first solo exhibition, the French artist reproduces a fake Berlin Wall covered in colorful paintings and faces inspired by those painted on the real Berlin Wall. New original works will be exhibited alongside rarely seen photographs, interviews, and films comparing old and new creations to reassess Noir's legacy and contribution to society. The exhibit will run at the Howard Griffin Gallery until May 5th. German artist H.A. Schultz, known for his anti-consumerist views and work, has opened an exhibition in the Ariel Sharon Park in Tel Aviv. The Trash People exhibit features life-size figures made from 20 tons of recycled iron, glass, computer parts, cans, and industrial waste. The exhibition has been traveling for 18 years around the world, with stops in Paris La Défense, Moscow Red Square, the Great Wall of China, Egypt's pyramids, Piazza del Popolo in Rome, Antarctica, and now Israel. The exhibit will be on display until April 26th.
And now Gabi Tartakovsky is here. Hello, Gabi.
Hello, Oded.
We're going to talk about Coachella.
Yes.
One of like the coolest music festivals, right?
The coolest and the biggest. Have you got your Coachella tickets?
I did not.
Well, obviously, because those were sold out in less than 3 hours back in January. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And for the second consecutive year, it will be held in 2 consecutive weekends, offering the same lineup. The first weekend...
That is so weird.
It's weird, but you know, money talks and the weekend walks.
I understand why they do it. It's just, you know, when you think of a music festival, you think of it as a unique occurrence. You know, something that you'll never have all those artists and all those people in the same place at the same time. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to
capitalize. You can say capitalize, but they also capitalize on a very unique experience, which Coachella offers both something for those who like to camp during the festival, and you can put up your tent and spend the 3 days on the festival's compound, or if you're a bit more spoiled, there's also a variety of pop-up restaurants by LA's top chefs.
That's nice.
And you can also have this experience.
You can count on the Americans to have it nice and cushy.
Yes.
What about the music? There's also going to be music, right?
There's going to be plenty of music, over 170 acts, and among the headliners, Outkast. Big reunion show, the first since 2007. Now, when Outkast announced they will headline Coachella, it came out of nowhere, and no one was certain whether this is going to be, like most festivals offer, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But then, later on, we learned that Outkast is going to perform additional 40 other festival dates, but this is the first time and everyone is looking forward to it.
Right.
Other than Outkast, we're gonna have Muse, Beck, Arcade Fire, Lana Del Rey, all the big names that you'd expect to be in such a festival.
Very nice. And other than obviously the music and the musicians, why
Coachella
gets all the headlines?
Yeah, why do you have to go to a desert in California? Well, they offer various boutique shops, they offer farmers market. They basically want to give you the best illusion of creating a community.
Right. And I think Coachella also, because of where it is, draws a lot of the celebrities.
Definitely.
And that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. There's a big chance you'll rub shoulders with Clint Eastwood and Paris Hilton. Many
Gabi,
very
thank you
side
so
shows.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as well. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for a whole new edition of Culture.